Welcome to RCAM. I'm your host, Ryan, and thank you for tuning in today. Today is a good day. The past 2 weeks have been good weeks. It has been an amazing 2 weeks. Trump has done everything from securing our borders to banning DEI in the government to forcing government employees to work to gutting the U.S. aid and to stopping child genital mutilation and castration. He has also just recently, as of today, signed an executive order banning men from women's sports. So we're going to be talking about that today. We're also going to be talking about Disney hemorrhaging subscribers. They've lost a sizable amount of subscribers toward the end of last year. And we're also going to discuss Google ending their DEI initiatives. So, yeah, all that today and more on RCAM. So, if you like this stream, please like, share, subscribe, click that notification bell, stay notified every time we go live. And we're going to be going live a lot. All right. Probably a minimum of an hour to an hour and a half streams every night, and then probably after those streams, I'll be doing like other oddball streams like gaming or whatever I feel like doing. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about, and I'm pretty excited about it. I'm pretty excited about the direction that we are going, and I just couldn't be more thrilled with everything that Trump is doing. He's exceeded my expectations, and recently with him signing this executive order to ban men from women's sports, it's so satisfying. It's something that I've been waiting for years to see happen, and to see. Give me just 1 second here. Sorry about that. That was my daughter, and her Yoda was dying, so she wanted a charger. Anyway, I was saying I'm happy to see this insane ideology start to come to an end, and people brazenly pushing back against it. And this should have been done from the very beginning because it was always crazy. It was always madness. It was always absurd. But a lot of people went along with it for many, many years until they pushed too hard and too fast. And people started to realize that these people are out of their minds. They are out of their minds. And now we have sanity restored to the White House. Now we have sanity restored to our nations. And I think this top down approach, I think Trump signing these executive orders really does send a message to your everyday person. Because not only is it saying, yeah, this is very clearly a violation of the law, or in a violation of basic humanity, but it's also an appeal to the truth. And when people hear the truth resonates with them. And for many people, the truth sets them free. And quite literally, we are going to see an entire generation freed from this madness, freed from this insanity, freed from having their bodies irreparably damaged because of transgenderism. So I want to play you guys a clip from Trump, kind of talking a little bit about this executive order, and then we'll have a few more clips to follow it. But let's start with this one. So this is from Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk. President Trump during an executive order signing ceremony banning men in women's sports. The war on women's sports is over. Let's give it a watch.
So in recent years, the radical left has waged an all-out campaign to erase the very concept of biological sex and replace it with a militant transgender ideology. You heard a little bit about this, haven't you? Huh? Just a little bit? Does anybody agree with them? No. Would be not a good thing to say yes right here. Female athletes have been forced onto the front lines, and men claiming to be girls have stolen more than 3,500 victories, that's a lot, and invaded more than 11,000 competitions designed for women. Last year, a male cyclist posing as a woman competed in the 800-mile Arizona Trail Race, a very big deal in cycling, and obliterated the women's course record by nearly 5.5 hours. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it, huh? 5.5 hours, but you have to hear the weightlifting records. You think that's bad. The weightlifting's worse. In 2023, a man in women's powerlifting broke 2 world records and outlifted his closest female opponent in one event by 440 pounds. And they continue to defend themselves, Mr. Congressman. You know that, right? They continue to defend themselves. We hope they continue onward because I don't think we can lose a race. This was one of the big reasons that we all won, and it's one of the big reasons that we had a record, a landslide like they haven't seen before, very often anyway. And who could forget last year's Paris Olympics where a male boxer stole the women's gold medal after brutalizing his female opponent so viciously that she had to forfeit just after 46 seconds, and she was a championship fighter. And actually, they had 2 women or 2 people that transitioned, and both of them won gold medals, and they won them very convincingly. But all of that ends today because with this executive order, the war on women's sports is over.
Amen. Amen. If it's not clear, that's Riley Gaines right behind Trump. I know Chaya Raichik is somewhere in that crowd. I know she was invited to this signing. I feel totally too vindicated with the Imam Khalif thing because so many people said, "Oh, how dare you? How dare you talk about Imam Khalif? That's a real woman." No, it never was. We were completely right, and you guys were completely wrong. And we watched as a man brutalize a woman on national television. And now in the United States, that will no longer be the case. That is illegal. You are not allowed to do that, as it should be in a sane society. And I think this is just incredible. You know, and I look and I saw this video and I got moved. I'm going to be real with you guys. When I first watched this, I was moved because you see all these little girls, and what this represents is a chance for them, or this represents safety for them and freedom for them, for not having to be exposed to these perverted freaks in the locker room and have to lose out on something they trained their entire lives for. You know, I think it's incredible, you know, and it should be relieving to the parents who sat back and watched this happen, watched their children be cheated out of opportunities that should have gone to them, watched men masquerading as women steal their daughters' medals, rob them of their scholarships, rob them of opportunities that were rightfully afforded to them. So I'm just so relieved. And he doesn't stop here. He's going to take it a step further. So here he explains what he's going to do if schools dare violate this, because you are seeing people resist. Yeah, I know there was a big protest happening outside a medical hospital in New York because people couldn't get gender affirming care. They couldn't cut off their breast or cut off their genitals, and they're freaking out about it. Good Lord, man, I'm so glad I'm not president, because I would make some pretty harsh laws. Like every single person that performed these procedures, they would be in prison, and some of them would get the maximum penalty allowed. Because what they have done is so horrific and so barbaric that I cannot believe it's happened. It's still surreal to me. So to see Trump to add further penalties for people who violate this is awesome. So we'll play this clip now too.
Thank you. Thank you very much. With my action this afternoon, we're putting every school receiving taxpayer dollars on notice that if you let men take over women's sports teams or invade your locker rooms, you will be investigated for violations of Title IX and risk your federal funding. There will be no federal funding.
Awesome.
So this will effectively end the attack on female athletes at public K-12 schools and virtually all U.S. colleges and universities. I don't think we've missed anything, but if we do, we'll make it up very quickly with an order.
I believe it. I believe it. This Trump administration, they are not pulling their punches at all. They mean business. And honestly, I didn't believe they would be this effective. I sincerely didn't, because if you compare Trump now to when Trump ran in 2016, he was not as aggressive as he is now. But after they have taken him to task, after they have tried to impeach him twice already, and I think they are, and we'll talk about it briefly, they're attempting impeachment number 3. They attempted to kill him. They attempted to put him in jail. He's a different man, and I didn't, I'll be transparent. He is not. I didn't vote for him because I didn't believe that he would do what he's doing right now. And I've been pleasantly surprised, and I actually do legitimately believe that God is using this man to transform our country for the better. He is going in with King Josiah energy, and he is toppling their idols, the things that they put above everything. Him going after transgenderism, that is a cultural idol and plague and religion, to be honest with you. And he's shutting it down. DEI, that's another thing. That's a cultural idol. People essentially worship DEI and want it at the center of everything and want it implemented in everything. And they want to push it onto other people and convert people to follow this woke religion. And it doesn't work. All it does is destroy. It doesn't bring people joy. It doesn't bring people happiness. It brings destruction and misery. And Trump is in here now destroying it, tearing down their altars, tearing down their sacred places, stopping them from doing what is very obviously evil and plainly evil. And it's a beautiful thing. It really is. And I hope that what he's doing now inspires and encourages others to continue what he's doing. And I do need to remind you that this wasn't a fight that was started by Trump. All right, there have been people, dedicated people, fighting this ideology tooth and nail for years. Matt Walsh being one of them, one of the leading voices, I would say, one of the people that helped bring this conversation mainstream with the release of What is a Woman? And of course the Daily Wire backing him. Then you have people like Libs of TikTok, Chaya Raichik, who's in that crowd, who's been reporting on the madness happening and covering it. And then you have the other women like Abigail Schreier, and you have J.K. Rowling. You have these people that have been pointing out how obviously insane this is, and that has been like a snowball. And it started off small. Everybody thought they were crazy. Everybody was against them. Everybody called them transphobic and bigots, and made death threats. And they endured. They endured to get us to this point where now Trump is signing an executive order banning it in all different capacities. He's banning it, in the schools, and he's banning, the actual procedures on kids. And now he's banning women from participating in, or men from participating in women's sports. There's been a lot of legwork getting us here. So when I play the clip that I'm about to play for you, I want you to be mindful of that. Of all the effort and work that has gone to get us to this point. Because to say what I'm saying right now, a few years ago, was met with visceral, guttural rage. I'm not saying it still isn't, but there's a lot more people that are far less tolerant. And it was the voices that were willing to speak up when speaking was the hardest that helped get us here. That helped advance this fight, that helped get these executive orders to Donald Trump's desk so that little girls and little boys can have a future. So let's play this clip.
Picture this is, huh, Governor? You want to do this? Watch what I do, and then I'm going to give you some pens, okay? You ready? What a nice picture this is, huh, Governor? You ready? We'll do a good job. Wait, let me press that. I want to make this a really good signature because this is a big one, right? Oh, I think we have a 10. We have a 10.
God bless you, Mr. President.
Woo!
Pretty good, huh? I see that. Okay? Good. Now you're going to go out and win those events, right? Nice to see you all. Great going, everybody. Nice to see you. Thank you, kids. Here. Take a pen. I'll give some of these out, okay? Take a pen. Take a pen.
Thank you so much.
Where's
God bless Trump, man. For real. God bless him. That's awesome. That is awesome. And I'm just so encouraged where we're at right now. Oh, just to, highlight this too. Riley Gaines, was one of the people leading this fight too. After she got her, one of her opportunities stolen from her by a man masquerading as a woman. I think it was Leah Thomas, if I'm remembering that correctly. But she says, "I can't even tell you how much this visual means to me." Yeah, it's beautiful, man. It's all these kids, they have a chance now, and they don't have to worry about men encroaching on their spaces and stealing opportunities from them, stealing their medals, stealing what they trained and worked their whole lives for. It's just incredible. It really is. Daily Wire had a report that I want to read a little bit on. They commented on this. So Mary Margaret Olohan, she's one of their White House correspondents now. So surrounded by young female athletes, Donald Trump bans men from women's sports. President Donald Trump signed an executive order Wednesday banning men from women's sports, a historic moment in the fight to protect integrity of women's spaces from gender activists and ideologues. From now on, he said, to a massive applause from those assembled, women's sports will be for women only. Women only. Sorry, you gender confused psychos. Not happening. You're not allowed anymore. Your days of encroaching in spaces you don't belong are over. Your days of garnering sympathy are over. We don't care anymore. We're done. We are done. We're not playing this game. Now, I know this might sound harsh, but you need the harsh truth. You cannot be the opposite sex. You cannot invade women's spaces, and we will not entertain it. Repent or get the hell out of the way. All right. So with this executive order, the war on women's sports is over. Yeah, it is. It is over. You know, I'm not going to say they're not going to try and pull some shenanigans. I'm sure they will, but now we have the legal precedent to do something about it. The president signed the order in the East Room of the White House, surrounded by young schoolgirls, female athletes, and advocates, including Independent Women's Forum Ambassador Riley Gaines, Paula Scanlon, Peyton Edwards, journalist Sage Steele, Concerned Women for America, Penny Nance, and others. If we have to worry about them, we have a bigger problem, he joked to Secret Service agents as a crowd of middle school age girls rushed to his side for the signing. What a nice picture this is. Yeah. So this is what the executive order reads. It is the policy of the United States to rescind all funds from educational programs that deprive women and girls of fair athletic opportunities, which result in the endangerment, humiliation, and silencing of women and girls and deprives them of privacy. The executive order reads, it shall also be the policy of the United States to oppose male competitive participation in women's sports more broadly as a matter of safety, fairness, dignity, and truth. Beautifully worded. The Daily Wire spoke with the mother and her young daughters who traveled to the White House from Fauquier County, Virginia, to stand with the president while he signed the historic order. We are with Moms for Liberty, and we're here to see President Trump sign the executive order and keep men out of women's sports. I have 3 daughters who are athletes, the mother explained. As her daughters smiled and nodded, they told the Daily Wire they play basketball and that they are grateful to Trump for standing up for them. All right. You get the picture. Very, very awesome moment, and I couldn't be more pleased with what he's done here. And I think this is great. And hopefully these people start to accept the truth. And I sincerely mean that too. I want people to be comfortable in the bodies that they are born in, which is why I so viscerally have opposed this. Because they start to build their entire identity around lies. And then they want us to participate in the lies and perpetuate the lie and keep it going because they cannot accept the truth. They cannot actually accept themselves. They want us to play pretend and prop up the falsehood, and we should have never gone along with it. And sometimes one of the most compassionate things that we can do is tell the truth plainly. You know, it's one of the most loving things we can do. When the whole world tells you sweet lies, we need to be people who are willing to say hard truths. And I'm glad that President Trump did just that. And I'm glad that we had so many fighters, so many people that were just willing to oppose this at great risk, you know? Getting death threats, losing their jobs, becoming a social pariah, but yet they didn't back down. They didn't buckle. They stood firm. And I think that is a biblical principle. We persevere in the face of adversity. We hold fast to the truth no matter the cost, because we know that the truth is beautiful and that it's worth fighting for, and that we should never give that up, whatever consequences may come our way. We need to be people that are willing to stand up for what we know in our heart of hearts is right. And so many people did that. And again, I can't say enough how encouraged I am in this season where people are pushing back against it and we're actually seeing significant cultural shifts in regards to this topic. And I expect if we continue on in this trajectory, that in a matter of time, it's going to go back to the obscure parts of society where it belongs, where it's looked at with scorn and contempt, and people refuse to indulge it. And we'll have a lot more people that are comfortable in the bodies that they were born into. One more thing, kind of on this topic that I liked. I've talked about Nancy Mace in the past. Not a huge fan of her, but I do think she is at her best when she's actually speaking out against transgenderism. So I'll take it. I'm not going to give her credit for being in the fight for a long time. Matt Walsh did a really good monologue that she wasn't, and she's actually for it, but she's come around. So I'll give her at least credit right now.
Mr. Chairman, parliamentary inquiry.
Yes, sir.
The gentlelady has used a phrase that is considered a slur in the LGBTQ community and the transgender community. And let me please finish without interruption. And
Tranny. I don't really care. You want penises in women's bathrooms, and I'm not going to have it.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Let
It's
Chairman,
disgusting.
let the gentleman.
Mr. Chairman, parliamentary inquiry.
Sir, the mean lady, she said a slur against men confused about their sex. Can we do something about it? And I love Nancy Mace. She's just like, tranny. What are you gonna do about it, huh? And you know that word, tranny. I'm streaming on X. Got me banned on X. I'm convinced that's what got my old account banned, because I used that phrase, which I said in my last stream. That was not always a slur. Or maybe they consider it a slur now, but that is how literally everybody referred to gender confused people. We called them trannies, straight up, and it was never an issue. You want to know how I know it wasn't an issue? Because it was part of jokes in sitcoms. I mentioned that Lily in How I Met Your Mother made a joke about and referred to a transgender person as a tranny. I don't even like using that word. Gender confused. Men masquerading as women. Because there's no such thing as a transgender person. Anyway, I like that. Such a little whiny worm, man. It hurts my feelings. No. She's using a mean word. I don't like it. Okay. All right. God, these people suck so much. All right, next story. Breaking. So this is from Libs of TikTok. This is what pops up when you have to go to the USAID website. All personnel will be placed on leave effective February 7th. On Friday, February 7th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all USAID direct hire personnel will be placed on administrative leave globally, with the exception of designated personnel responsible for mission critical functions, core leadership, and specifically designated programs. Essential personnel expected to continue working will be informed by the agency leadership by Thursday, February 6th at 3 p.m. For USAID personnel currently posted outside the United States, the agency, in coordination with the mission and the Department of State, is currently preparing a plan in accordance with all applicable requirements and laws under which the agency would arrange and pay for return travel to the United States within 30 days and provide for the termination of the PCS and ISC contracts that are not determined to be essential. The agency will consider case-by-case exceptions and return travel extensions based on personal and family hardships and mobility or safety concerns and other reasons, blah, 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 blah. So they're all getting fired. Oh, man. He is not playing around, y'all. He is not playing around with how I'm starting to think that once everything settles, banning the income tax won't be remotely an issue because we will have so much money because they'll realize how much money we've actually pissed away that they won't actually feel the need to take it from our paychecks before we ever see it. And I do think that's coming. I really do. Because of the level of fraud, waste, and abuse it's unreal, guys. And I was talking about it yesterday. It's unreal to me. But obviously, as I stated yesterday, the Democrats are not going to let this or go down, or the Democrats are going to go down swinging. They're going to fight tooth and nail to hold on to their cash cow. And this is why they are impeaching Trump again. Well, I guess they say the reason is for ethnic cleansing Palestinians in Gaza, but I think it's just everything Trump is doing, and they're just trying to latch onto something. Oh, by the way, Trump said that he was going to take over Gaza, which I don't think anybody saw coming. So, I'll give you my position on this real quick. I am not down with us being involved in Gaza at all, or Israel at all. I'm not supportive of American troops going over there for really any reason. So I'm not on board with that. I get why he's doing it. It makes sense. I can follow it. I can track. And we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. I am hoping that we don't put American troops there. That's my hope. I am hoping that we don't continue to send money over there. But we will see. Anyway, let's play this clip.
And still I rise, Mr. Speaker. And I rise today, Mr. Speaker, with a to whom it may concern message. To whom it may concern, ethnic cleansing in Gaza is not a joke, especially when it emanates from the President of the United States, the most powerful person in the world, when he has the ability to perfect what he says. Ethnic cleansing in Gaza is no joke, and the Prime Minister of Israel should be ashamed, knowing the history of his people, to stand there and allow such things to be said. Ethnic cleansing has been a crime against humanity. And I stand here today in the well to denounce what was said, to denounce what the President said, to denounce the complicity of the Prime Minister of Israel, and to remind people that Dr. King was right. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And injustice in Gaza is a threat to justice in the United States of America. I rise to announce that the movement to impeach the President has begun. I rise to announce that I will bring articles of impeachment against the President for dastardly deeds proposed and dastardly deeds done. I also rise to say that the impeachment movement is going to be a grass-up movement, not a top-down. The people have got to move forward. The people have to demand it. And when the people demand it, it will be done. I did it before. I laid the foundation for impeachment, and it was done. Nobody knows more about it than I. And I know that it's time for us to lay the foundation again. On some issues, it is better to stand alone than not stand at all. On this issue, I stand alone, but I stand for justice. I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman yields back. Members are reminded.
Good Lord. They're really going to try this again, man. They're really going to try to impeach him again. They don't learn. They just do not learn. And if anything, it would, like, they're not going to have the same support they did back in 2020. They tried twice and failed. People are, whatever they're selling, people aren't buying it anymore. We know what time it is. We're awake. We're aware. Your threats, your slander, your hoaxes, your lies, we're not listening. We're going to keep on doing what we're doing because we actually know we're on the side of truth. We know we're doing what's right. But these people, man, anything, they're going to grasp at anything to try to take Trump out. It's just unfortunately how it's going to be. It's disappointing, but it is what it is. All right. Next story. Hold on. So, Senator Mitch McConnell fell again. So, Mitch McConnell falls down Senate stairs, what we know. So, Republican Senator Mitch McConnell fell down the stairs in the Senate on Wednesday, multiple media outlets reported. Senator McConnell is fine. McConnell's spokesperson told Newsweek in a statement, the lingering effects of polio in his left leg will not disrupt his regular schedule of work. Wednesday's fall is the latest in a series of health-related incidents McConnell, 82, has had in recent years. He announced last February that he would be stepping down as Senate majority. What we know. Fox News' Chad Pergram reported that the Kentucky senator was helped to his feet by Republican Senators Steve Daines of Montana and Mark Wayne Mullins of Oklahoma. Pergram reported that McConnell had the fall after voting to confirm Scott Turner as the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. HuffPo's Iger Bobbick and Punchbowl News' John Breshnan reported that McConnell fell again after being held to his feet. Bobbick reported that the Kentucky senator was able to get up on his own after the second fall and that his colleagues were huddling around him at the Senate lunch. And he's been seen in a wheelchair after falling. I do believe. Now, I don't know if this is a clip from his recent fall or if this was something that happened in the past. So I think this is the recent one, though. Yep, fell again. Now, I'm not making fun of this guy, all right? You know, one day I'm going to be old. You know, age is something that we cannot escape. We're all going to be old. But what I don't want to do when I am 82 years old is to continue to do something that I should have given up a long time ago. I do think we are in dire need of age or term limits or age limits, you know, or cognitive, you know, testing one's cognitive abilities once they get to be a certain age. And right now, I think Mitch McConnell does not pass the test, man. This is the second fall he's had, and there is real, legitimate concern about his safety. You know, and about this is a guy too that plays a role in running our government. How can he adequately serve the people if he can barely keep himself from falling down? If his health is at risk? No, it is time for this man to step down and for somebody younger to come in and take over. And I don't think this is extreme. I don't think this is unreasonable. I think this is a perfectly reasonable thing to expect. You know, but we live in this culture, this day and age where we fear getting old and we fear retirement or we fear no longer being useful. but you can be useful in other ways. And I think, this is how we get leaders like Joe Biden, man. And we had 4 years of hell because we were working with a dementia patient, because he should have stepped down a long time ago. Now, some people will be like, well, Trump's in his 80s. Well, Trump, a little different, all right? I do think if you have the cognitive abilities and you have the aptitude and you haven't slowed down, then it's fine. But when you're falling over repeatedly, I think that's a pretty clear indicator that you might not be up for the task. Trump is sharp. Trump has energy. Trump can talk for hours. That man ain't slowing down. If anything, he seems more energized now than he's ever been. More focused, more determined than he's ever been. So you cannot apply that same argument to Trump. Now, if Trump did start slowing down, if Trump did start to have significant lapses in memory, uh, I would probably make the case for him to step down too and let JD Vance take over. So I do think that we should have a conversation about term limits. If there's a minimum age requirement to actually run for, maybe not for Congress or Senate, but for president, then there should be a maximum age limit. Like, yeah, you're 75. Okay. Probably not a good idea. And then too, like the increased chances of likelihood of somebody that old just dying on the job, very real. So maybe we shouldn't be setting ourselves up for failure. Maybe we should be encouraging people like Mitch McConnell to enjoy the few years that he has left with his family and loved ones instead of fumbling his way through his remaining years in office. Just a thought. Call me nuts, but I don't think the country should be being run by senior citizens, okay? All right. Next story. We are going to talk about DEI at Google. So, Google has scrapped or is planning to scrap their diversity goals, their hiring practices, and their DEI programs. And I think this is awesome. And I've seen companies real quick change their tune to DEI. I know a company, I'm not going to say the name of the company, but on January 24th, they released a statement stating how they were they had an and I'm not exaggerating. This is the actual verbiage that they used, right? They had an unwavering commitment to DEI and rolling out this new pro DEI initiative that they had, and they were all excited about it. They sent the email out, everybody got it, everybody, they're hyping it up. So on January 24th, they had this unwavering commitment. The following week, Trump passes his executive order banning DEI. And then this company scraps that, purges that from their website, and then says, "Just kidding. We're gonna do what the Trump administration says." And it just goes to show me too how these people don't believe anything that they say. They don't believe. They don't actually believe in the principles they upheld because they aren't willing to lose or risk their jobs for it. And I think that was the case here with this thing. Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna pause this real quick. Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, they don't actually believe in the crap that they're advocating for. And I think most people, most CEOs of companies don't believe it. I think they're full of crap. I think they preach diversity, equity, and inclusion, but at the end of the day, they don't actually care about it. And they will drop it just like that. So let's read this story from The Guardian. All right. Google scraps diversity hiring goals and cites Trump's DEI orders. Firm rollbacks back plan to hire more from underrepresented groups and said it was reviewing some of its DEI initiatives. Alphabet's Google is scrapping its goal to hire more employees from historically underrepresented groups and is reviewing some of its diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. With this, Google joins a slew of US businesses, particularly in Silicon Valley, that have been scaling back their diversity initiatives. Years of after pushing for more inclusive policies, after protests against the police killings of George Floyd and other Black Americans in 2020, the company did not immediately respond to requests for comment. The Wall Street Journal first reported the news. The company issued a statement after the news broke. We are committed to creating a workplace where all our employees can succeed and have equal opportunities. And over the last year, we have been reviewing our programs designated to help us get there. We've updated our 10 to K language to reflect, I don't even know what that means. And as a federal contractor, that's it. That's what this is about, the money. So these people, you want to know where their allegiance truly lies, okay? It's not to DEI initiatives. It's not to Trump. It's not to any of this. These people are chameleons. They will be whatever they need to be to get their bag. That's what they're after. They're after the money. Our teams are also evaluating changes required to follow recent court decisions and executive orders on this topic. Alphabet's annual filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission on Wednesday showed it omitted a line saying it was committed to making diversity, equity, and inclusion part of everything we do, and to growing a workforce that is representative of the users we serve. Committed. They're so committed. They're so committed that the second the executive order drops, they're like, what? Commit? We didn't say delete. We didn't say that. No, we're not committed to it. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? No, we're not about DEI. What? We're JK, guys. Just kidding. Not. We weren't serious. That statement had appeared in annual reports from 2021 to 2023. Google told employees. My watch. Google told employees it was reviewing recent court decisions and executive orders by Donald Trump aimed at curbing DEI in the government and federal contractors. Google's head of HR, Fiona Sissoni, said in a memo published by The Verge, for example, in 2020, we set aspirational hiring goals and focused on growing our offices outside of California and New York to improve representation. In the future, we'll no longer have aspirational goals. Earlier this month, Facebook parent Meta Platforms said in an internal memo it was ending its DEI programs. Awesome! Including those for hiring, training, and picking suppliers. Amazon also said it was winding down outdated programs and materials. Now these things are outdated. We don't need them anymore. And I'm glad, by the way. I don't want anybody watching this to think that I am remotely supportive of the DEI initiatives. I am not. I think they have been a scourge, and I think that they have played a massive role in discriminating against white people and Asians. So I am happy to see them go. What does bother me to a degree is the spinelessness of these people. These people are such cowards. Now, I think Trump Zuckerberg probably is having a legitimate conversion, but I think most of these people, like the head of Google and Jeff Bezos, I don't think they really care. I just think they care about getting money and molding to who they need to be to appease the current administration. And if Democrats win in 2028 and they try to roll everything back that Trump has done, I think these companies will readily get on board because they're unprincipled cowards. All right. So, conservative groups fortified by a 2023 U.S. Supreme Court ruling that invalidated affirmative action in the university admissions, great, have condemned DEI programs and have threatened litigation against companies implementing them. Earlier this month, Elon Musk and other allies attributed DEI programs as an impediment to the response efforts for severe wildfires in Los Angeles. Yeah. I mean, I don't have any comment. Oh wait, yeah, there was a woman. They hired some sort of female fire chief and like a female mayor, and that's what they were focusing on instead of hiring people that are most qualified for the job. And the female fire chief was committed to making the firefighting force more diverse, which I'm sure is just stellar to have when you're fighting fires, Small, frail women who can't kick down doors and can't carry out people and can barely hold up the hose. Yeah, real good idea. A real good idea. And then you're passing over perfectly qualified male candidates that can do the job better because they are physically stronger. So another area where we are no longer ignoring reality, and yet we are acknowledging reality and acknowledging the differences in genders, which there should be, So I think that's good. Okay, let's see. All right, next story. This one's by Gizmodo. So I have a Disney Plus membership. Do I pay for it? No, I don't. It comes free with my Verizon package. And I'm grandfathered in because I was like one of those people that when Disney Plus first came out, I got it for free with Verizon as part of a bundle deal, and it just never went away. I still have it. They're pissed that I have it. They don't want me to have it anymore. they're trying to push me out by getting me to change plans, but I got this plan where it's free. I don't have to pay for it, so I don't, and I still use it. There's still some older movies that I tend to watch on there with my daughters, like The Lion King, older Disney movies where I don't have to worry about wokeness seeping in and infecting their minds. But, and I'll probably watch Daredevil when it comes out because, not going to lie, I'm hyped for that. I like the Daredevil series, so I'm hoping and praying Disney doesn't mess it up. But just because I'm still subscribed because I get it for free doesn't mean that everybody else is, because Disney has hemorrhaged 700,000 subscribers to close out 2024. 700,000. That is almost, they've almost lost 1 million subscribers. Now, I would like to say that wokeness played a role in this, and I'm sure that it did, but I actually think it's a kamikaze of things that happened. A perfect storm of incompetency, greed, and just outright stupidity, which I guess is incompetency. Whatever. You get the point. So I do think, them releasing shows like The Acolyte that featured, lesbian space witches and totally destroyed the canon of Star Wars didn't help make people happy, and then pushing queerness in their shows didn't really help advance or appeal to the audience that watched Disney. Didn't exactly scream family values, which is what Disney claims to represent, or at least what they used to represent. And because of that, they're paying for it. And not only that, though, they started increasing their prices along with like every other subscription service. Excuse me. So they started doing that, increasing the cost of everything. And obviously, that doesn't help make you money. That only costs you money because not everybody can afford it. And people, instead of paying for it because they don't see any value in Disney because you're already releasing crap content, they'll just cancel the membership when you raise the price. So you don't really win. And then another thing that they tried to do was they tried squeezing memberships out of people that were using their friends or family's accounts. So they started doing the same nonsense that Netflix has done. Only I think Netflix was actually successful. Not with me though, because I refuse to give Netflix my money. My wife will send an email to my father-in-law's account to get us the password. We're not paying for it. We're just not. We'd have to sacrifice another subscription to subscribe to Netflix. So the only time I'd consider it is like when Stranger Things comes out. And then even then I'm like, yeah, I'll find another way to watch it. I don't want to pay. So anyway, the password sharing thing, also an epic fail. So I do think that attributed to them hemorrhaging subscribers. So the days of Disney Plus growing like gangbusters seems and finally over. Disney stock is down slightly on Wednesday following its release of earnings for the final 3 months of 2024, which includes the news that it's eponymous. I don't even know what eponymous? I've never heard that word. Man, I feel stupid right now. I'm going to have to look this up. What the hell does eponymous mean? Streaming service lost 700,000 subscribers. The company expects further modest declines through 2025, perhaps the consequence of successive price increases, just as I suspected, and the institution of a crackdown on password sharing and a reduction in content spend. Hulu was a bright spot, adding 1.6 million subscribers. So it seems like where they lost subscribers, they made up for that with Hulu, which makes sense because I actually know a lot of people that just got Hulu, which is cool. But I thought they were like bundled together. Disney Plus now has 124.6 million subscribers, down from 125.3 million. Still, that's a massive amount of subscribers. Hulu sits at 53.6 million subscribers, up from 52 million. Overall, Disney's financial performance beat expectations with earnings per share at 1.76 on revenue of 24.7 billion. Analysts on Wall Street had expected earnings of blah 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 blah. Anyway, I want to read this little bit about Bob Iger. After Bob Iger returned as CEO in 2022 because he just could not seem to give up power, I'm sure he didn't want to retire. Disney was failing badly. And he was a familiar face to help restore your brand. He set out an aggressive plan to reach profitability in streaming with the promise that Disney Plus would break even by the end of 2024. The company was able to achieve that, with the final 3 months of 2024 making its third straight quarter of streaming profitability. That has required becoming more fiscally responsible and making its streaming services less enticing, including by raising prices, introducing an ad-supported tier, and more recently targeting password sharing. So, I don't like what he did to get there, but the guy delivered. So I don't know why they're complaining. Like, he didn't want to get, well, yeah, because if he didn't actually take the helm again, you guys would be a sinking ship. And if Disney wasn't as big as it was, they would have failed a long time ago. Thankfully, they are. And thankfully, they do have Bob Iger at the helm, who's actually interested in seeing Disney turn a profit. So anyway, it's not surprising to me that Disney Plus is hemorrhaging subscribers. It just isn't. Their content, lackluster. I think they are going to start scaling back the wokeness. It's something that I have seen in recent Disney movies. You can see them wanting to go woke and not. And I think they get the message. And I think now, too, with the current state of things, they're definitely not going to put any wokeness in their content. All right. Let's see here. I think I got one more thing. And then I think we'll be done. I just want to watch this Jurassic Park trailer because I haven't watched it yet. Pretty excited about it. So we'll see. This is me live reacting to because I have not seen it. So let's give it a watch. There we go. All right.
Dr. Henry Loomis, this is Zora Bennett, our mission specialist.
Sorry, what mission?
This would be a medical breakthrough that could save countless lives. It comes from the largest dinosaurs on the planet.
Oh my God.
Fortunately for us, all these species exist in one isolated place. Can you be ready tomorrow?
I can guarantee your safety. I mean, more or less.
More or less?
He's your guy?
We're the best at moving things and people in and out of places they shouldn't be.
Move up towards Barbados, avoid government patrol, but there aren't that many anymore.
Why's that?
No one's dumb enough to go where we're going.
This island was the research facility for the original Jurassic Park.
Oh, that's
We need
cool.
DNA from the 3 biggest dinosaurs.
Do we have to get a sample from an egg?
I suppose we could try and get it from the parent, but they're a flying carnivore the size of an F-16.
Maybe we should make it quick.
These dinosaurs were too dangerous for the original park.
Please don't say they're raptors. They're raptors.
The worst of the worst were left here.
Come on! Duncan!
We put ourselves in a place we don't belong. Survival is a long shot.
What the hell are those?
They're helping the mosasaur defend territory, stalk, hunt.
None of what you just said is good.
Looks pretty good. I'm definitely going to go see it. Even if it's probably not going to be good, I'm still going to go see it. So, yeah. All right, I think that's going to do it for me today, guys. I hope you have a blessed night. Deuces.